Hey guys, Chi here. It is Tattooie Tuesday. This here is a new segment that I decided that I'm going to start. I can't guarantee that it's going to be every week, but it will definitely most likely be on a Tuesday. Okay, some people call it Taco Tuesday, some people say T-Mobile Tuesdays. But hey, you know what? Those are already trademarked. Mine is Tattooie. Okay. I'm gonna start off with my very first tattoo. With that there, I had to change clothes to make it a little bit more easier to see it. And the only reason why is because I had a full dress, and I'm sorry, my lips is really bad today. I had a dress on, and you could not see it. So no matter how many times I maneuver it, or I put shorts on and things like that, it wasn't visible. So what I did was I just took my bra off, put a tank top on, and let's get to it. This here was a tattoo that started it all. I don't know if you guys can see that. I was 18 years old. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. If you guys can't, just feel free to leave me a comment and I will redo the video. I was 18 years old when I had gotten that tattoo. And it wasn't actually supposed to be a piercing. I mean, it wasn't actually supposed to be a tattoo. For my 18th birthday, I actually wanted to get my belly button pierced. That was when I was skinny and I was cute. But when I went to the tattoo place, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, the guy who does the piercings, he just walked off and left." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Is there anything we can do?" And I'm like, "Well, I went to get my belly button pierced because it's my birthday." And the guy's like, "Well, that case, if you know, how about a tattoo?" And I'm like, my parents are completely against tattoos. And I was with my coworker slash friend. She's like, "Get it on your back. They can't see it." So I was like, "Ooh, okay. Sure, we'll get the tramp stamp." And she busted out laughing. Keep in mind, this was supposed to be a quick little procedure because we were going to a party afterwards. And it was like a little work get together. We during the weekends we do a movie night at a different employee's house. And this time it was one of my friends, Frank, his place. I'm trying to remember because it was like so long ago. So anyways, I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't have anything planned. And that was when my friend tells me, Kirsten, her name was, she's like, "Well, what about your drawings?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Thank goodness the tattoo place wasn't that far from where I live, so we quickly walked back to the apartment, or my parents' house at the time. My parents' house. I was looking through it and I found it. I found all my fairies, and I had you know, so many different fairies that I had drawn up. So this one here had a different type of wings. She had more of a dragonfly wings. And I asked the tattoo guy, I'm like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you put her wings on her body?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can do that." So he redrew it up. Put the stencil on, and I approved it. Okay. I tell you, for 3 hours, I was like this here, okay, leaning up forward while he was working on my back. And I'll tell you this much, because it was my very first tattoo, it hurt like a bitch. It was the most uncomfortable position being like this the whole entire time. He kept saying, do you want me to stop? And I'm like, "No, because if you stop, I'm not gonna come back and get it. I'm not gonna come back and get it finished." And he's like, "Okay." So my friend stood there the whole entire time. She's trying not to laugh because of my discomfortness. My little curls are getting caught to my earrings here. So she's trying not to laugh, but in the same way she felt sorry that I go for one thing, come out with another. So finally, 3 hours later, okay, I sit up, and I felt like I was drunk. I never in my lifetime, okay, still to this day, knock on wood, I've never had a hangover. Okay, I can get shit-faced drunk, okay, but I've never had a hangover. So while people say, well, how do you know what it feels like? I'm like, I don't. So how do you know you have one or you don't have one? And I was like, easy. I can walk around, I'm talking to you, and they're like, you're crazy. So anyways, the guy was telling me, how about I keep your stencil? And I'm like, why would you want to keep my stencil? He tells me, I will give you your tattoo for free, plus pay you $1,000 to keep your tattoo, to keep your stencil. And I'm an 18-year-old, and I'm thinking, that's actually not a bad idea. So I asked my friend, and my friend was like, go for it, go for it. And I go, and I'm thinking, and I was like, am I gonna get credit for every woman or anybody you put the tattoo on? And he's like, unfortunately, no, I can't do that. And I said, okay, if that's the case, then no, I'm gonna decline. And he's like, really? I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, fine. I'm just only gonna charge you $225. And it just now remind me, the tattoo, I had originally wanted it the size of my fist. I have little hands, okay? He tells me, if I go that size, you are going to lose a lot of the detail of this tattoo. And I'm like, all right, make it however. And that's how I ended up with that size. So back to the story. He gave me the tattoo for $225. Then we went to the party afterwards. They were all drinking and things like that. And yes, it was at that time a lot of, but you know what? Back then people weren't as strict as they are now. Okay, did I have a few drinks? No, I've already felt like drunk being like this for so long. So afterwards we go back home, and I'm putting like the ointment on it. My sister walks in, my younger sister, and she's like, oh, you got a tattoo? I'm like, shut up. And she was like, oh my god, mom and dad doesn't know? And I'm like, no, and you better not tell them, you little bitch. And she told my mom, okay, and my mom looks at it, she's like, okay, that's cute. And then it slipped. I don't know who accidentally let it slip, my mom or my sister. Then my dad found out. I tell you, my dad did not talk to me for 6 months. Granted, I lived in the house with him. He avoided me for 6 months. Okay? And then my mom says, why don't you just, this is your daughter. Says, yeah, but she defined her body. And she's like, she's 18 years old. He's like, I don't care. Her body's a temple, So I don't. Then they talk, and then I was in my room. I think I was reading or listening to music. My dad's like, let me see that stupid tattoo. So I showed him the tattoo, and he's like, your mother said you drew it? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I just have one question for you. I'm like, okay. Why the hell you put bell bottoms on her? And I was like, Dad, hello, I wear bell bottoms. And no, it's not the 70s, okay? I was born late 70s, but that's the fine age. I was in the era with bootleg pants were in style and flares. So that was me. I love my bootcut pants. Okay, so my fairy reflected that because I put her how I wanted to be. All right. Eventually I'm going to get her fixed up, if not removed and re-stenciled. Okay, because times has changed. Ink has gotten so much better since it's done, because I've had tattoos like a few years after that, they still look fairly brand new. So I think that's pretty much it for my very first tattoo. And I guess that's it. And just remember, even though it's called Tattooie Tuesday, I'll talk about piercings or whatever floats my mind, but it's between tattoos and piercings. Okay. If you like it, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, share. All right. Feel free to share and give me some love. Okay. You know, as I usually say, be true, be you, stay beautiful. All right. Till next time, Chi Chi out. Bye bye.